Hello, I'm Dr. Norman Anderson, CEO of the American Psychological Association. Whether you are a student or a member of the public with an interest in psychology, or thinking of pursuing a psychology career, APA has important information and materials for you. Psychology is the study of the mind and behavior. The discipline embraces all aspects of the human experience. Psychologists conduct both basic and applied research, serve as consultants to communities and organizations, deliver health services, evaluate intelligence and personality, assess behavioral and mental functioning, and teach future psychologists and other students. They study how human beings relate to each other and to machines, and they work to improve these relationships. With America undergoing changes in its population, psychologists bring important knowledge and skills to understanding diverse cultures. Some psychologists work independently, but they also team up with other professionals, such as fellow scientists, physicians, lawyers, school personnel, computer experts, engineers, policymakers, and managers to contribute to every area of society. You will find psychologists in laboratories, hospitals, courtrooms, schools and universities, community health centers, prisons, and corporate offices. Most psychologists say they love their work. They cite the variety of daily tasks and the flexibility of their schedules. They are thrilled by the exciting changes taking place in the field, from adapting technology to humans to working as part of primary health care teams. They're working hard to provide answers to research questions in such diverse areas as prevention, perception, and learning. The APA is here to support these professional endeavors. And now, I'd like to introduce you to a few colleagues who share my passion for psychology.
I think a lot of people initially think psychology is just the clinical side, and obviously having been through a clinical program myself, having done the clinical work myself, that's a very important part of psychology, but it's so much more than that. It's also the research, and it's also the teaching piece, and it's the applied piece, and it's now advocacy as well.
The reason I got into psychology originally, I think, really stemmed from the positive, to some degree, the positive experiences I had with my college professors in psychology, whether it be kind of their dynamic teaching or the interesting topics they were teaching on, which then led me to seek out research opportunities as an undergraduate on psychology experiments, and also doing a crisis helpline.
When I was in elementary school, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. By the time I was in junior high, I wanted to be a lawyer. But by the time I got to high school, I was really, really curious about psychology. And so I majored in psychology at Northwestern University and got a bachelor's degree. And then I continued into school psychology and got a master's degree and then a doctoral degree in clinical psychology. So I have always been passionate about psychology, at least since high school.
Learning about my own resilience throughout my life and what has made me kind of thrive when I've had difficult situations made me want to kind of study that a little bit more. And so I wanted to go to graduate school to kind of learn more about just, human behavior and what makes people do what they do, and specifically study resilience.
I don't think there's anything I don't like about my job. I get most excited when a kid comes in who just absolutely will not talk because, for whatever reason, and then by the second or the third session is talking so much that I have to control my time. I have to say, we only have 3 minutes, 4 minutes left. You have to go soon.
Oh, I love teaching psychology. When I started teaching psychology 33 years ago at the high school level, there was one introductory course, and I was the person that was hired to teach it along with some other classes. And then over the years, the course became very popular because the students loved learning about psychology, so we added more courses, and then I started teaching advanced placement psychology, and that just that became my passion.
So I'm a senior research assistant at UCLA School of Medicine in the Department of Human Genetics, where I help the interdisciplinary team by administering all the psychological questionnaires, doing intelligence testing, personality assessment, mental health assessment, which we can then take back to the lab and correlate it with different types of biological traits, whether it be neuroanatomy or genetic variation.
I love when students light up like that. You know, whether it's in the classroom and you're having a discussion and you can see they really get a psychological concept or something really resonates with them, or you hear them get mad about something. You know, we'll be talking about social justice issues, women's issues, ethnic issues, and you can hear them start to connect things in their lives, things that they've seen, or things that they didn't realize were happening.
I have people who come back and say, "You saved my life," and I think I'm somewhat surprised to hear that, but I'm certainly thrilled to hear that, because I do think therapy can make a powerful difference in people's lives.
Well, as a teacher of psychology, at first it was difficult to get resources besides a textbook because there really wasn't a lot out there. But over the years, the American Psychological Association has really developed resources that are so helpful to high school teachers as well as college professors. Besides, of course, the APA website, which you can go to and you can find a number of different resources.
I have just been introduced to Psych Outcomes, something that I've been looking for a long time, and likewise Psych Link, the wiki for and by psychologists. Feel less isolated by using these things.
APA is the broad umbrella organization that really represents all areas of practice, and I don't mean practice specifically, but all disciplines from education to research to public interest to practice, and it is the key resource for advocacy for the discipline. And I don't know that enough of the members appreciate how much advocacy APA does on the behalf of members, regardless of area of specialization.
The support is just fabulous. The fact that, you know, there are these activities for early career psychologists, and there's a whole division devoted to psychology of women, which is where my interests and everything lies. And then Division 2, you know, is all about teaching of psychology. So their events are really helpful as well in terms of getting ideas for new things you can bring into the classroom, new techniques. How can you open up discussions in different ways?
If someone were asking me whether or not they should join the American Psychological Association, I guess my advice to them would be that I think there are a lot of valuable resources available to psychologists regardless of what area of psychology they're working in.